Hey folks, it's Sean from Mind Possible. And last weekend I spent some time in Golden, Colorado with my friends, and we did some dowsing experiments, and it was so much fun that I want to share with you so that you can do these experiments with your own friends and family, especially now that people are getting to go outdoors more and gather together. Dowsing is a wonderful activity if you like to explore consciousness with it, because it's a way of finding out things that you can't know with your own two eyes. And the experiments that we did were both evidential and non-evidential. So the evidential ones were we used dowsing to find gold, oil, water, and people brought power objects that we hid, and we used dowsing to find the power objects. And how we ran these experiments where I got these buckets from the hardware store, plastic buckets, but they all look exactly the same. And every time we looked for something, I hid it in one of 4 buckets that I spread throughout the park. And people went and doused at each bucket, and then we all took votes to see which bucket they thought each item was in, and they did really well. So you'll see here how they did it. You'll see me explaining dowsing to them, the whole process. So if you listen to that, you'll learn how to do it too. And also, if you don't have dowsing rods, they're really cheap to make. All you need is a coat hanger, and you would take clippers and cut it here, here, and in the middle of the bottom of it. And then you take what you have left over and bend it into 2 rods like this. And then if you have 2 pen caps, you insert the bottom into the pen cap like this. That way it can move around easily on its own. And then holding 2 of them is how we did the activity. And you'll hear me talk more about that in the rest of the video. We also did non-evidential experiments, meaning we used these dowsing rods to measure each other's energy field. By the way, if you're into CE5, I wonder if using dowsing rods would be something interesting to do during CE5 gatherings, so that when you sense there's something new in the environment or visitors are coming down, would the dowsing rods be able to tell you anything? So that's just an open question. I want to throw that out there in case some of you are curious about that. But here we go. So there are different theories of how dowsing works, and today we're using dowsing rods. And basically you can use just one rod if you want, but most people use 2. And the idea is when you get close to what you're looking for, the rods on their own will automatically, they could cross each other. You'll be holding them in parallel. Or they'll widen or go in opposite directions. It's also possible that you might just see one of the rods turn while the other one doesn't move. And some people, when they start working with their rods, they train themselves so that the rod behaves a specific way when they have a yes answer and a specific way when it's a no. So they might say, show me yes, and hold the rods and see what the rods do. And they might move one way or the other. Show me no, and you obviously want a different response. You can train yourself over and over today. We're not going to do that though. We're going to just look for a reaction. And we're going to do different experiments today to see what a reaction looks like for you, because like Kavan, for you, a yes might be the rods crossing, and then Cheryl, the rods spread apart means yes also. So it's going to be individual. And the idea is that your consciousness knows where whatever you're looking for is somehow, and that's a really huge conversation. But then it connects through your brain, down through your arms, into the small muscles in your fingers and hands, and they adjust how you're holding the dowsing rods to make them move a certain way. So it's not that if you put the rods on a table that they would move on their own. Like, it's your body moving them, because your body's connected with your subconscious mind. So because it's subconscious related, you want to make sure you're not overthinking it, because then the conscious mind gets in the way. If you start guessing and trying to control how the rods move, then it's not going to work. It's most about keeping whatever you're trying to find in mind, and then let your subconscious do the work on its own. You can't control it, you can't even feel it happening, but it's happening. Let your hands do what they do, and just notice what the rods do. Let go of control, just keep what you're looking for in mind. Set your intention, basically. It's another intentional exercise. So we're going to do different exercises, such as finding oil, finding water, finding gold. And I have 4 buckets that all look the same that we're going to use so that we can actually track statistically, basically, our success rate. look, on your first try, can you find which of these 4 buckets has the gold in it, or the water, or the oil, or your power? Did everyone bring power objects?
Yes.
Significant? Okay. So the buckets are small, hopefully they can all fit. So we'll also be looking for your personal power object. Okay, so we'll do it by show of hands. That one over there, how many people think it's there? How many people think it's this one right to my left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many people think it's the one to my right over there? Okay, a little bit there. Anyone for that one? I can't do basic math.
I had 2.
Which 2 did you have, Birgit? Okay. This is the one everyone, or the majority, thought had the oil. And it has the oil. This first one here, how many people thought this one had gold in it? No hands. Then this one over here, how many? No hands. I don't even remember which one I put it in. Okay. Then this one behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one to my right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 or 6. So that's empty. Empty. So let's look at, this was the one, this was the second most popular one, right? Okay, but some of you, I saw some of you had reactions with these last 2. Did anyone have a strong reaction to this one? Second, anyone else? Okay. So when you came over to these 2, your rod moved in a direction?
Yeah, this one. And then when I walked the opposite direction, the rod pointed the opposite.
Okay, this is really important. So when people got to this one, their rods went and you followed where the rod pointed to. Was that a mistake or was that the right thing to do?
I don't know, because when I stood over there, my rods pointed
Because here is all the gold. Okay, no, but so here's the lesson. Your rod moved.
It did.
That was a signal. It wasn't what it was pointing to. It was just that it moved.
But it didn't cross. It didn't cross, yeah. It went like...
Yeah, it doesn't have to cross.
Mine didn't move.
It just has to give you a strong reaction. So just keep that in mind next time. It might point to the left and you think it tells you to go left, but it's actually saying left means right here. Okay, just in case that wasn't clear, what was happening there was in their second experiment, I think they may have been overthinking it a little bit too much, because accidentally they were actually marking the correct location of the gold. What they were saying was when they went over that particular bucket, their rods, some of them started pointing to the side and they thought it meant go over to that side, but that's not what it really meant. It was just a reaction saying, like turning to the side for them meant here, this bucket, but they thought it meant go to that direction. So that's what was going on there. They actually did a good job, but they didn't know it. How many people think that bucket over there has the objects in it?
That's my first vote.
That's your first vote. You're the only one. So the furthest one back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Cheryl's second vote. Then this one furthest back behind me, 1, and then right here, 1 there. Okay, which one had the most votes? This furthest one? Yay, they got it. You got it! Yay, they found their power object on the first try, and they found the oil on the first try, and the gold, we saw that it was a little confusing there. Then we did an experiment with water, and they didn't do well with that one at all. But it might be because just about 50 or 100 yards away was a rushing river, and I don't know if there was any running water beneath the park where we were doing our experiments. So that would take more experimentation to know if they could do a little bit better with water next time. Maybe go out to the desert and try it there. We're gonna have some fun that's a little bit less objective, but it's more fun. And we're gonna have everyone partner up, and we're gonna use dowsing rods to measure your energy field. And what we're gonna do first is the first set of partners will be lined up in a row, and the other set of partners lined up in a row facing your partner. And I'm going to give you a handout right now to fill out, and it's going to have 7 lies that you're going to write down, 7 untruths, and then 7 true things. What we'll do is the first set of partners, you're just going to read out loud your lies to your partner.
First name is Maria. I was born in the city of Bakersville, California.
And we'll see how lying this, affects your energy field. And what you'll do then is the other partner will start approaching the partner with their rods with the intention of, I want the rods to show me where the edge of their energy field is. So see how close you can walk to your partner before the rods react. And we'll just measure, we'll just observe. And then we'll do it again where you write down your 7 truths on the handout and then read them out loud to your partner. And see how you feel the shift in your energy field. Then the partner will walk again towards the other partner and see if their field has expanded so that the rods react from further away, or if it's contracted and it responds when you're closer to your partner. Does that make sense? So this one is tough to capture on film, but here we're trying to measure each other's energy field, how far from the person their field goes or how far their aura extends. And there were some significant responses. Sometimes people got really close together and sometimes really far apart. And it wasn't always that someone telling the truth had a really wide field. Sometimes their field got really small. Now again, this is non-evidential because there's no way to verify that, at least now with modern scientific instrumentation, but it's still super fun to do. So if you do this with your friends and family, give the energy experiment a shot. You might learn something new there. Well, those were all our experiments we did this last weekend, and I hope you enjoyed watching them, and I really hope you get to try this on your own with your friends and family outdoors somewhere. It's a lot of fun. Don't take it too seriously, and definitely don't overthink it. And if you want to learn some other cool stuff, feel free to come on by to mindpossible.com. All right, take care.